Since 2003, health practitioners, scientists and noise experts from around the world have recorded a common set of health problems among people living near industrial-scale wind turbines. In July 2010, the National Health and Medical Research Council issued a rapid review of the existing evidence, including a statement that there are no direct pathological effects from wind farms. However, in his oral testimony to the Federal Senate inquiry in March 2011, Professor Warwick Anderson, CEO of the Council, made his concerns very clear when he said, "We do not say that there are no ill effects." And just a few months on, a court judgment in Ontario, Canada found that the debate should not be simplified to one about whether wind turbines can cause harm to humans. The evidence presented to the tribunal demonstrates that they can, if facilities are placed too close to residents. Across the globe, the issue of placing industrial wind turbines near humans is coming to the fore. And with more and more evidence emerging about some serious health problems, denying these issues is no longer an option. Numerous symptoms are reported when wind turbines are sited too close to people's homes and workplaces. These vary from person to person and are dependent on wind direction and weather conditions.
Tinnitus, that's ringing in the ears, dizziness, headaches, poor sleep, anxiety, depression.
Headaches, wanting to vomit all the time, pains in the chest, blood pressure. You can't sleep, got sleeping tablets, do nothing for you.
Really bad chest pains of a night, and a lot of blood noses. Like I'd be asleep and just wake up and my nose would be bleeding. And it's just pretty scary stuff.
And I developed the most severe headache I'd ever experienced. Even though I live 3.5 kilometres away, they affect me at night and my blood pressure rises while I'm asleep and I wake up with rapid heartbeat and things like that.
Cardiovascular events and cerebrovascular events, and one's mortality is increased with sleep problems.
Symptoms have been consistently reported in Australia up to 10 kilometres from homes. Most symptoms disappear when people leave the area or when the turbines are switched off.
I went to the doctor 2 days later. My blood pressure had returned completely back to normal and the turbines hadn't been going.
I remember there was like 5 days straight and it was dead calm, they weren't turning and we were just back to normal. It was just great. And then you get up the next morning and bang, they're going again and you just sink into depression and you start feeling the same effects just come back.
Placing wind turbines too close to homes has a negative impact beyond personal health issues. Over 20 Australian rural families, some who have been on the land for decades, have been forced to sell or even abandon their homes because of serious ill health caused by wind turbines.
After speaking to our family doctor, his suggestion was the only way to fix the problem was to move from our family home. So that was it for us, we had to move.
I've had contractor get ill stripping crop this last year. I've got a shearing shed here that's only 1 kilometre away. So if you've got staff in the shearing shed, you're responsible for them, and it's a worry.
It's the way the wind farm companies go about their way of signing up residents, and that does concern me because that does divide small communities. One farmer would be given the information and signed up as a potential to have wind farms on their property, but they had to sign a confidentiality clause, which meant that they couldn't talk to their neighbours.
Wind turbines emit both audible and inaudible noise and have various electromagnetic impacts. While there is some research on how sound and vibration energy affects humans, there is very little research specifically examining the effects of wind turbines. We still have a lot to learn about exactly why they are making people sick.
I think firstly it makes sense to site the wind turbines as far away as possible from where people live. And how far is far enough? I don't know the answer to that. I think we need to establish some research to try to get data to sort this out.
And now, the issue is in the national spotlight, with the Australian Federal Senate inquiry making important recommendations in June 2011. This includes that the noise standards should include appropriate measures to calculate the impact of low-frequency noise and vibrations indoors at impacted dwellings. That further consideration be given to the development of policy on separation criteria between residences and wind farm facilities, and that the Commonwealth Government initiate as a matter of priority thorough, adequately resourced epidemiological and laboratory studies. Despite the Senate inquiry, no action has yet been taken by the federal or state governments to properly implement these recommendations. And while nothing is being done, plans for even more developments across rural Australia are going ahead at an exponential rate. This is not an issue confined to one resident, one town, or one country. It's a growing health issue on a global scale. As a matter of urgency, the problem must be seriously researched by independent experts following the Federal Senate recommendations. And until research findings emerge, any new turbine placement should be at least 10 kilometres from homes.
It's just simple, isn't it? Like they're obviously just not meant to be where people live and in certain circumstances where people work.